Hey everyone, Michelle here. Welcome to a little video series I'm calling Mindful Mondays. Little tips and tricks that you can do in the moment to feel a little less anxious. So today I want to talk about riding the wave. At Kripalu we call this riding the wave. It's kind of that time when an unpleasant sensation comes up and you want to just jump off, right? So think about that saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, right? So that may be true for some folks, but for most of us, when the going gets tough, we usually run the other direction. Let's be honest, when we're having an unpleasant feeling, whether it be sadness or fear or anything else that you kind of feel uncomfortable having, we usually tend to jump off, right? We usually tend to run away from it. We distract ourselves. We have other feelings like anger or sadness to kind of replace whatever the unhappy feeling is or the unpleasant feeling is that we're having. And so this concept of riding the wave is kind of like trying to stick with it. So if you think of it like when an experience occurs, there's a physical and emotional response, right? So it's kind of like riding up that first curve. And there comes a point where you get to choose. It's kind of called that jumping off point. So you can have that habitual reaction that you always have, whether you turn away or compartmentalize or have some sort of an angry, kind of shout kind of experience. Or you might decide to take a breath. And in that moment, when you take that pause and you take that breath, you can actually kind of stick with the emotion. And the idea here is to not get caught up in the emotion, but to simply watch it and to simply be that non-judging awareness kind of witness, right? So kind of stepping back and going, what kind of emotion am I having here? And what is it telling me, right? So kind of watching it, watching the emotion rise up, watching the sensations rise up, noticing where it feels in your body, noticing how it feels with your breath, noticing if your heart is beating a little bit faster, and then just kind of riding it out. And if you do that, there's going to be an end to this experience. The sensation will and the experience will end. And then you can go ahead and maybe learn a little bit from what you've watched or what you've examined. And you might also find that there's a little bit of freedom and a little bit of space that you've created because you didn't have that habitual reaction. You might have been able to choose a different response instead of having that habitual response. So it's just another opportunity to kind of get present. So when you're having that unpleasant moment, you can go ahead, maybe take a breath, and instead of having that habitual response, go ahead and just watch the feelings and the sensations that are coming up. Kind of ride out that wave, get to the other side, and then see how you feel at the end. The experience will end, I promise, and you might even find that you have a little bit more of compassion and a little bit more insight for your own being. And if you want to learn more, you can totally join me over at thepathtoserenity.com. And you can watch a free webinar I have over there that talks a lot about other things that you can do in the moment when you're feeling anxious. All right, have a great day.